Hi, this is Larry Hatch for 300 Hard Seltzer Reviews, the best of the best, part 2. If you didn't see our part 1, give that a look, and that evaluates the best seltzers we found out of 300 some in 5 flavor categories. And today we're going to do 5 more flavor categories, which are generally based on a particular type of fruit or flavor category. And this is brought to you by seltzerrev.com, which is short for Seltzer Reviews. We just thought Seltzer Rev was a little shorter and cuter a name. Probably easier to remember, maybe. But anyway, today we're going to start with the best peach or peach blend. And these are all fairly close. Our number one pick was the Bud Light Seltzer Iced Tea Peach. And that's got some tea in it and peach. Very real peach. And then for the second place, we had 3 that were actually tied as equals. The Truly Extra Peach Mango, which is an 8% higher ABV form of the Truly series. And then the Sup Peach and the Barefoot Peach Nectarine, which got 95 points. And as a horticulturist, I can tell you that peach and nectarine are actually the same species. They're just 2 different subspecies of peach. The peach has hairs, the nectarine doesn't. But historically, the peach and nectarine have slightly different chemistry. So people do appreciate the difference between a peach and a nectarine, at least in terms of the varieties grown. But botanically, it's just a matter of one has hairs and the other doesn't on the fruit. But in terms of the varieties that we tend to grow, nectarines have been bred to have some slightly different flavors, and people will argue and disagree as to what those are, so I'm not going to really get into that. But basically, any of these 4 top peach blends will really please you. I'm quite certain of that, and they'll do a really, really good job. Let me just start by commenting briefly on the Bud Light Seltzer Iced Tea, which we gave 96 points to. That has stevia in it, and it gives it some sweetness. It also has malted rice for smoothness, and it's a very deep, semi-sweet peach. It's a real peach. We felt it was the best in the Bud Light Seltzer Iced Tea series. Some of the Bud Light Platinums also scored at 96 points. Bud has really stepped up and done some good work. And that kind of surprised us because, Bud Light's not exactly the Lafitte Rothschild of beers. So in the seltzer world, Bud Light is pretty up there. Kings, really. Not so much in the beer world. But if you're a Bud Light lover in the beer world, sorry, it just doesn't measure up. That's just facts. Our next category is another fruit category here. It's the best pineapple or pineapple blend. Pineapple is a very favorite flavor for seltzers. I didn't think it would be, but it is a very refreshing thing. Our number place went to the Malibu Splash Pineapple Coconut, which is kind of a somewhat take on the Pina Colada, but not quite. Second place with 96 points went to the Serenat Pineapple Green Tea. And the Serenat Green Tea series is pretty darn good. Third place went to the Cacti Pineapple. Fourth to the Vizzy Pineapple Mango Blend at 93 points. So let's talk about the Malibu Splash Pineapple for just a second here. Hopefully I can locate it on my chart. Let's see here. Well, where the heck is it? Let's see, there it is. That is one of the highest rated seltzers we have. We actually rated only 4 seltzers so far with 98 points. And this Malibu Splash Pineapple and Coconut is one of the top products. It does have quite a few calories in it, though. It's got 212 calories per 12-ounce can. So that's about twice of what a normal seltzer will have, just so you're aware of that. It does have 5% alcohol, but it really does have double the calories, and it's intensely sweet, but it's a sweet, true pineapple flavor. And as you know, real pineapple, when it's fresh and ripe, is very sweet. This thing was brilliantly good. It just really impressed. Again, be aware it's higher calorie, but the sweetness and the elegance of the true pineapple flavors is probably very much justified in this particular case. Our next category are the best grapefruits or grapefruit blends, but are not savory. The grapefruit cardamom product from Press got a good score. That's in our savory category. So in this case, we're just looking at the regular grapefruits, not a grapefruit herbal or spiced product. And in this category, we gave our highest score to the truly hard grapefruit. At least in my area, the states that I frequent, my hometown, that is commonly available in grocery stores, either as a single can or in the packs. That got a score of 97 points. The White Claw Ruby Grapefruit got 96 points. And I'll be honest with you, some people could probably go either way on those two. Our panel just happened to pick one is 97 and one is 96, but I suspect you could probably switch those around. And I do have people telling me that they like the White Claw as much as the Truly or better. So just be mindful of that. 1 point is not going to change the world when it comes to human subjectivity. Third place surprised us a little bit. That was the Corona Grapefruit Limonada. That's Corona's lemonade series, and that was a strong grapefruit contender at 94 points. And the Mystic Reef Grapefruit at 93 points was our next pick. So let's talk about a couple of these top ones here. The truly hard grapefruit tastes like the real thing, like real grapefruit. It's tart, it's citrusy, it's got the definitive species flavors, so it's not an orange or a citrus blend. It's a little more tart than other blends, but hey, real grapefruit is pretty tart. It's got enough sweetness to please, and it's really highly recommended as such. So that's that anyway. And if you want to get into that, the Saranac Pineapple Green Tea has faintly real pineapple, but the tea is giving it complexity. It's refreshing and delightful. Frankly, without the tea, it probably wouldn't be as good, but you get enough pineapple and enough green tea to make it a really successful sort of blend. And I think that is a really fine product, and one we can kind of recommend on that. The White Claw Ruby Grapefruit, we were kind of expecting maybe like a grapefruit aid, like some seltzers are with grapefruit. They tone down the grapefruit to make it more, acceptable. But this one really had. It's very drinkable, very sweet. It's not very tart, especially compared to the Truly. So if you like a tart grapefruit, you go with the Truly. If you like one on the sweeter side, the White Claw would probably be your thing. And you'll find that a lot of times some manufacturers go on the sweet side, some go on the tart side, some try to balance that. And it really depends on what you like and what you're in the mood for. Sometimes I like a seltzer that's really potent and tart. Other times I want just something that's there and not really as noticeable or as sharp. Our next category is the best lime or lime blend. It's got to be primarily lime, not another fruit. Our number one score went to the White Claw Natural Lime, which is readily available, 97 points. And once again, we had three that tied for second place. All very good choices. The Press Lime Lemongrass at 96, the Mystic Lime at 96, and the Cactus Lime at 96. Lime is not a hard flavor to do since there's both good natural and juice flavors that you can add to a product. So it doesn't really surprise us that that's a good category with high scores. The White Claw really has an authentic lime flavor, spot on, refreshing, one of their best. White Claw products for us are pretty good, especially the raspberry, the lemon, and the natural lime. Not all of them scored high, but those three did. And we feel that the natural lime is really quite good. It is natural. When you use an artificial flavor, and by the way, these companies buy those in big drums and barrels, and they're based on the real fruit. But when you use a natural flavor, sometimes you only get part of the chemical profile, the esters. Other times you get less of that. But to get a real authentic fruit flavor, you usually need a complicated set of chemistry. I'm not going to go into all the details, but to simulate some fruits well, you probably need 3 or 4 different chemical profiles in the batch, unless you're using the real fruit, which is recommended in a seltzer. Watermelon seems to be hard to do because it does have a fairly complicated chemistry. But anyway, these are all good choices, and you won't go wrong with any of them, in my opinion. Our last category today is the best cherry blend without lime. Cherry lime seems to be a popular seltzer theme, and I think we're going to grade those separately. Our best seltzer by far was the Sup Black Cherry at 97 points. Then the Truly Hard Black Cherry, which is very readily available, at 96. Third place was a tie with White Claw Black Cherry and Smirnoff Zero Black Cherry at 95 points. The fourth was Bon V's Black Cherry. And do we want to say black cherry is different than regular cherries? Yes, it is. If you look at the real fruit, now whether how many of these used the real fruit, you can get some idea from the cans and from our reviews. But black cherry flavor is very common in the food industry. It's readily available. It tends to be a more potent, darker, tartar cherry flavor versus maybe the Bing cherry or the Montmorency or some of the others. Some Bing cherries are available in dark varieties, so it gets kind of complicated. Black cherry is kind of the default name for cherry, whether it's really a black cherry or not. The Sup Black Cherry is an organic product, so that they get a little plus for that. It's 95 calories, so it's a tad lower. It's a very real, substantial, robust, dark, deep, semi-tart flavor. It's got just enough sweetness, just enough tartness to be believable, and so far it's the best cherry by a small margin. But I don't think you'll go wrong with most of these. The Truly Hard is a rich, deep cherry. It's sweet with the right amount of tartness. It's one of their best, and Truly Hard has worked well on their product line, as has White Claw and Three Birds and some of the others, and Bud Light, Wild Basin, to name a few. And they tend to be consistent across the line. We notice that some seltzer companies, one flavor, maybe their mango will be a 98 and their peach will be like a 87 because it's really horrible. Some product lines in these mixed variety packs, one will be a star, the other will be a mediocre, and another one will be horrible, and you don't know why. But some of these companies like Three Birds, White Claw, Bud Light, Truly Hard, they've been consistent and consistently good over their line. Cacti, fairly much so, and it kind of varies a little bit. But that's something to note when you get a variety pack. It's like a box of chocolates and Forrest Gump. Um, but with some of these other companies, you're not going to get any bad stuff. You're going to get all good stuff. Please give us a look at seltzerrev.com. Lots more detail. Some of these best of may have switched around a little bit. We're going to update these videos periodically, probably once a year. As maybe something gets overturned by a new product, we're kind of expecting that. Seltzers are like the beer world; it's just growing exponentially, like the craft beer world, did 5 or 6 years ago. Well, actually 10 years ago now, and now it's exploding again after COVID. So the seltzer world is very dynamic, topsy-turvy, and we're probably going to get new winners in these categories, so we're going to try to keep this updated so that it is relevant. Again, please give us a look and a subscribe. We have weekly beer reviews, and I'm going to do as many seltzer reviews as we can justify based on the number of products, and I think you'll really enjoy the websites. Thank you.